The use of secondary dominants that we looked at in the previous chapter made chord changes stronger. By making the minor chords major, we introduced one note from outside the original scale, which created tension. This tension wants to resolve, which it does when you land on the target chord. Because we've heard this so often, we can even use these chords in our composition without going to the target chord. This technique of changing one chord note can be done on a few other chords within the major scale. It can be done on the two major chords of the 4th and 5th degree, and we can also alter one of the notes of the 7th degree chord. The sound these altered chords create has been discussed at length in Chord Cookbook. Here, we'll just browse the way that you can use them in your songs. Let's first look at the chords on the 4th and 5th degree in a major scale, in this case C, F, and G. Now both these chords are major. Their 4-note variations using tertiary harmony are a major 7th on the 4th degree and a dominant 7th on the 5th. In the key of C, that would be an F major and a G major, plus their 4-note variations F major 7th and G 7th. Changing the polarity like we've done in the previous chapter, making minor chords major, would mean that we would change the major chords to minor chords. We do this by lowering the major third 1/2 note. The F major chord on the 4th degree would become an F minor. Listen to this one.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
The 4 minor chord will get you an incredibly sad chord progression when you land on it immediately after the 1 chord. You can hear this progression in Michelle by the Beatles, All by Myself by Eric Carmen, and in Lou Reed's Perfect Day. The atmosphere created by this sudden change of perspective is one you will need to use with discretion. It fits songs that have a twist, an unsettling subject, or a stomach-turning sadness. More often you will hear the 4 minor chord in a progression coming back from the 4 major chord through the 4 minor back to the 1. So in this case, F major, F minor to C.
1, 2, 3, 4.
In the key of C, this would be C to C7 to F minor to C. Desperado by the Eagles and Somewhere Over the Rainbow use this progression from 4 to 4 minor to 1. More Than Words by Extreme is another one. The internal progression of individual chord tones is the reason why this works. When you move back from the F major chord to the C major, and you do that via the F minor chord, the major third of the F, which is an A note, moves to an A flat on the F minor chord and on to a G on the C major chord. So it's a chromatic line from A to A flat to G, which sounds pleasant to the ear. The shock treatment of a 4 minor chord can keep your audience awake, especially if the 4 major chord has already been part of your progression.
1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3.
You can support this chord change by targeting the altered note in your melody. Now that would be the flatted third of the F minor chord, which is an A flat. Not doing that would make for a more subtle change of atmosphere. The other chord in a major key that we can alter is the 5th degree chord in the key of C major. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That would be the G chord or the G7th. Lowering the 3rd would give you a G minor or a G minor 7th. Songs that use this progression are Fire and Rain by James Taylor, The One That You Love by Air Supply, and Let It Rain by Eric Clapton. The 5 minor chord can destabilize the sense of key that you're in. It is the only dominant 7th chord that can be made with notes from the major scale, and the 5-7 to 1 progression is often used to establish the key. Making the chord minor suggests a key change which can or cannot happen. Listen to this one. 1, 2, 3, 4. The chords that I'm playing here are C major, a G minor, a B flat, an F major, and a C. Now it feels like you've modulated to a new key right when you come to the 2nd bar. That's the one with the G minor. The B flat and F and C in the last 2 bars suggest the key of F major. B flat being the 4 chord of F major, and C being the 5 chord. But when your song starts out on a C major chord, this is the tonality that the ear latches onto. The C major scale does not have a B flat note in it. But the G minor, the chord in bar 2, does. It's the flatted 3rd. We've seen the use of the B flat chord in the key of C before, when it was used to make the progression in C major a bit more bluesy. Introducing the flatted 3rd, flatted 6th, and flatted 7th chords into your song in a major key will give them that bluesy edge, and the B flat major chord is the flatted 7th in the key of C major. But this specific use is kind of hidden when the G minor chord is used against the C major. It sounds like we've modulated. Good songwriters know how to play with these effects. Hiding the tonality or the use of short modulations keeps the ear grasping for what's going on. This means the listener will have to keep paying attention. Once you start repeating a chord sequence like this, the ear gets used to the tonal ambiguity and can deal with it. At that point, it can start focusing on other parts of the song. You can stress this ambiguity by using the altered note, in this case the B flat, in your melody. You can also do this by choosing chord forms on your guitar that have this altered note as the top note.